Welcome to episode 29 of the Die, Laugh, Love podcast. For those who've not participated in one of these sessions before, I call this the Die, Laugh, Love podcast as a play on Live, Laugh, Love. Everybody here, no matter where you come from, your political or religious background, what we all have in common is that one day we're going to die. And I'm a firm believer that before we get there, before we take our last breath, we must do our best to laugh and love as much as possible. And that might indeed be the point of this whole go around. With that being said, it's been about a month since I've recorded a session, and I want to talk to people about how these online groups go. What will happen with this is that I walk into an episode like this with guidance, if you will, from spirit as to how this is supposed to happen. And this is a participatory event, which means that I'm going to talk a little bit in the beginning about the theme and what we're aiming to share from spirit, and then I'm going to open it up and I'm going to start channeling spirits, and I'll describe them, I'll describe their messages, and it will be up to you to turn yourself on video. If you are here, there's a chance that your spirits could come through with a message for you. And I know that when they do this in a group session, those messages are for everybody. So I will connect to individual people. The messages that we share in a group setting are for everybody, meaning that you here who are online with us, as well as people who might listen to this or watch this later on. This is a podcast, which means that it is available via audio and via video. But because this is Zoom, I want to encourage people to always watch this if possible. You can listen to it, of course, but you should watch this because I will bring a person up on Spotlight. I will join them on Spotlight and we'll share in the message. So the reason that I have been offline for a long time is because some of you know this and some of you don't. Recently, my son decided to move to Alaska. Now, I am based out of northern Vermont in New Hampshire, and my son has been with my husband and I since the sixth grade, full time. Got him through middle school, got him through high school, and he's been in the workforce ever since. I want to talk to you about some of the things that prompted his move. And I'm about to share some personal stuff about our life, but the only reason I'm sharing that is because it has to do with what's about to transpire here between all of us and spirit. So my son has tried a few different things after getting out of high school. He was a police officer for a little bit, worked for the local sheriff's department. That wasn't for him. And he got a job for a local flooring company. He is a little redneck. He likes his big trucks. He likes to hunt. He likes to fish. He's a little redneck, and he is really a guy that should be in the trades. So he has been working for a flooring company out of East Burke, Vermont for the past 2 years. And he's really developed a lot of great skills. Flooring, he actually put into our house a world-class tile shower. We just had a little bathroom in our farmhouse, and he put in this this tile bath shower. Now, when it comes to that, as amazing as he is still a child. He's still 22 years old, and he had a tendency to overextend himself. He got a lot of side work going on. He put in our shower, got it working, got it plumbed in, got it working. And then it stood at about 80% finished with a whole bunch of materials on our porch, a whole bunch of tools hanging around our house, scraps of tile, scraps of lumber everywhere. Our bathroom was in disarray. And as it goes with that, he kind of floated along, stand at friend's house, stand at girlfriend's house, and he's all over the place. And it got to a point with us where Isaac, my husband, and I were like, kid, come on, finish the bathroom. Please finish the bathroom. There is too much chaos in our house. There's stuff stacked up in our living room. The bathroom is just in disarray. Great shower, but everything else needs to be finished. And we really had to push him. push him, push him, push him. Now, this is well before he decided to move to Alaska. And we were, here's a little bit of my grandmother's French. We were kind of riding his ass about it. Hey, finish the bathroom. We need you to finish the bathroom. Make time to finish the bathroom. It got pretty intense there. And a Sunday rolled around where he told us that I'm going to be there in the morning and I'm going to get the whole thing done. And I'm going to pick up the tools and the garbage and the scraps of lumber and all of that stuff. That Sunday came around and he never showed up. Never showed up. Didn't show up. Didn't get into contact with us. I could see him active on all the apps, so I knew he was available and around, but he was incommunicado, didn't show up. And at the end of the day, I reached out to him and I came down on him pretty hard. I was like, listen, kid, you told us you were going to be there. You didn't talk to us. It got a little heated between us. I'm talking to him on the phone, hoping that I could have this conversation with him in person, but he wasn't there. And so me, the dad, the frustrated person living in the house, I get frustrated with him. And finally breaks down and he says, Dad, I've been in the hospital all day. Mom OD'd. And yeah, I know it's pretty heavy. She's fine. He was the emergency contact in her phone. So when she overdosed, he was the one that was called. Now, mind you, this kid is 22 years old. And the reason that he has been with us since the sixth grade is because he caught his mother doing drugs in the sixth grade. And I immediately went to the court system and got full custody of him. And she has been ill ever since. I've been in the position as a dad where I've had to tell him the truth about drugs. When he asked me as a little sixth grader, hey, is this something that could kill mom? I have to say, yes, absolutely it is. And he has been a little man worrying about getting phone calls about his mom passing away. And I think some of us here are pretty familiar with how that goes. So, needless to say, when I found out that the kid had been in the hospital and his mother had overdosed, I felt like a jackass. I felt like a jackass. That shifted the conversation around to, well, bud, if you had communicated this, if you had just shot us a text message or communicated in any way that this was going on, we wouldn't be in this position. So I did my best to eat crow, but also be there to support him in that way. And this was one of those classic scenarios where nobody in the situation, neither he nor I, meant to hurt anybody, but we both messed up. It had taken a while for us to get to this place where we were really frustrated in our house. He was floating along like a 22-year-old kid. His mom had this accident, if you could call it that, and we kind of ended up in this perfect storm. The day after that, the kid received video evidence of his girlfriend cheating on him. And then he decides to sends me a message because I talk to him all the time. He sends me a message. He's like, Dad, I think I want to move to Alaska. And so I do the thing where I'm like, hey, I totally get the fact that you need something different. I will encourage you not to run away from your problems because the classic scenario of um, wherever you go, there you are. I had this conversation with him, encouraging him to take a vacation because he's worked 2 years for this flooring company, had not taken a single vacation or any time off to that degree. From my perspective, he was burnt out, dealing with a whole lot of things that a 22-year-old kid should not deal with. And he needed a therapist. And so I encouraged that. I was like, hey, why don't you wait a few months, get a good therapist, and kind of heal from some of these things that you're experiencing? Well, I gave him that advice and I leave my house and I get behind, this is so strange. I get behind an old Ford Bronco on the 15-minute drive I have in the middle of the woods. And this old Ford Bronco had an Alaskan license plate with the vanity vanity words of we're out. We're out. And so I mentioned this to my good friend Maria. And as I'm talking to Maria about how weird this is, she's like, well, what's even weirder is I'm at my mother in law's house and I'm holding postcards right now in this moment from Alaska. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe he does need to go to Alaska. Maybe he's not running away from his problems. Maybe he is just needing a new beginning. So in the beginning of August, about August 5th or 6th, he and I left northern Vermont, went up through Montreal, and drove to Alaska. It was wild. We spent 6 days on the road going through all of Canada, up into British Columbia, up into the Yukon, crossing the border into Alaska, driving into Palmer, Alaska, where he had a place to stay. And I spent about 4 days with him in Alaska. It's a beautiful country. I encourage anybody to go because it is like no other part of the world I've ever seen before. Saying goodbye to him at the airport was the hardest thing that I'd ever done, ever in my life. Hardest thing. He has no people up there. He's got, gumption. Like I never had gumption. And he just started this new life and he's working for a flooring company. He's got an apartment. He's doing his thing. And the strange thing about that process is him being far away, about 4,300 miles away, has caused us to grow closer than we've ever been, which is cool. What a gift that is. What a gift that is. I even spent $500 on a PlayStation 5 so he and I could play Fortnite together. This is what I'm doing as a dad, right? Like playing video games with him. And we have, a lot of technology, video chat, and what have you. But as I get ready for this episode this morning, as I'm taking my walk and thinking about this episode, one of the things that strikes me is that every single person on this call, every single person that's ever taken a breath will always make mistakes. We don't want to. None of us want to make mistakes. None of us want to hurt our loved ones, but we will end up saying something or doing something when we're tired or stressed or what have you. Every single one of us is going to mess up. And I think most of humanity doesn't want to mess up. We want to do our best, be our best. But I think making mistakes is as human as breathing is. Every single one of us is going to make a mistake. What's important there is, an expression I heard a long time ago is that we have to wear the egg on our face. When we do make a mistake, we have to own up to it. We have to fess up to it. We have to participate in rectifying or apologizing as much as we can. And as I'm getting ready for this episode, there are some mistakes that I think people are holding on to that need to be looked at from a different light. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Now, I do see about half the screens here in front of me have faces. I can see them. I see everybody on mute. The people that do not have their video on, if I start to describe a spirit, an ancestor, a member of your beloved dead or dearly departed, I'm going to ask you to put yourself on video. I will ask you to unmute yourself. If you can't unmute yourself, just wave like this and I'll prompt the unmuting on your side. But I want to talk to you about the man that's been with me all day. Now, this is the first one that's going to come through, and we might have to figure out who it is here that I'm talking to. But I want to get connected to you and remember that all of these readings are meant for everybody here. Okay. So when it comes to this man, I think what I'm seeing is he's older and frailer. I think he worked with his hands. I see what looks like a red and black flannel checkered shirt. That could be a symbol of like country. That could be a symbol of rural, but he might have actually worn that. The other thing I'm seeing is this, and I'm just going to describe to you what I'm seeing. I see what looks like a small metal coffee can. Now, it's been a while since coffee has come in metal cans. I think all the coffee, like Folgers or Maxwell House, this is Folgers. I see a red can. This is a metal can. It's like one of the smaller cans. He very well might have spit in it. Now, hear me out on this because, and what I mean by spit is like tobacco spit. I think he might have chewed. He might have spit into a can like that. Um, but there's somebody here because he wants to talk to somebody, and here's where I think whoever's here, their inner process or their inner battle works like this because what I'm getting is I think you had to take something away from him. You might have had to take his coffee away. You might have had to take his tobacco away. You might have had to take something away. And I don't think he liked it. He didn't like it. He felt like, while he was alive, he felt like uh, he was being punished. So I want to ask anybody here, did you have a dad, grandfather that you took care of at the end? Somebody that you took something away from? Was there a coffee can? Did he put screws in the coffee can? Did he spit in it? This is where I toss this out to you. Just go like this if you think it's you, and I'll unmute you. He felt in life like he was being punished. He felt like he was being punished. He felt like he was being treated like a child. You had to take something away from him that he liked, but he's got a different mindset now. So I want to talk to anybody here who would have walked old man to death, had to have taken something away from him, and he would have acted like a child. He would have been really upset. This would have been something that hurt him, like tobacco, chew, something like that. I'm seeing the
You're
metal.
making me think about my great grandfather, but it wasn't something physical we had to take away from him. During COVID, he had to stop doing his daily deliveries and his visits to the bank and the gas station and everything. And he threw temper tantrums about it over and over and over again. And it was within 3 months that he ended up dying after that. And he complained about it until the day he died.
Okay, hi Kylie. So can I ask you, did he have a red and black checkered shirt?
Yeah.
Was there
Yeah.
ever was there ever a metal coffee can?
He had a lot of trinkets and he had a lot of different metal cans. He had a wood shop and he had a lot of different, he would save cans from coffee and everything else because he would put different things in them in his wood shop.
Okay. Do you ever remember him chewing?
No.
Did he ever smoke?
Yes, he rolled his own.
Okay, because I don't know why they do this, but like the chew and the lip is the sign for me of tobacco. It's
He
just the sign
always
of me of tobacco.
he was very Lebanese and he would put, I think it was like grape leaves or something he always stuffed in his mouth. But he'd always have it in his lip and he'd be chewing on it. It wasn't tobacco though.
Okay.
I'd have to ask my mother exactly what it was. It was some herb or something he always had in his mouth, but it was not
Okay, so I
tobacco.
wouldn't that's interesting because I've never heard of people holding like herbs in their mouth and chewing it like tobacco. So I would always feel that as tobacco. Okay. Um, so if nobody else can grab this, this is going to be this ornery, spoiled little old man who thought he was being punished, and like this is the person that's coming through here. Okay. So remember how I walked into this with this idea of mistakes, mistakes, and forgiving ourselves for mistakes. So Kylie, I want to ask you, you weren't the one that physically stopped him from going, were you?
It was a group effort.
Okay. So, because this is being recorded, and if there's anybody in that group that's open to hearing this, what I need you to do is when this is available online, I need you to share this with anybody in the group who would be open to these types of messages
Mm-hmm.
because there's got to be somebody in this world who is upset that they would have done that.
His sister, or his daughter Lillian.
Okay. If Lillian can hear these messages, then you need to bring this to Lillian because you would be the carrier of the it's not the apology and it's not even really forgiveness because there's nothing to forgive. If Lillian and the group did the best they could for him, COVID was a really strange time, really scary time. He had to stop his deliveries, he had to stop all of that. People made him stop. This feels like a petulant child. Those are the words that I'm receiving. Like petulant child. He would have acted like a petulant child, like an old man who acted like you're taking my toy away, you're taking away the thing.
Oh yeah.
So, in the way that we have family and we want to give love to people, we want to make the best life for them. Sometimes, in the instance of me, like coming down on my son, like, hey, man, you said you were going to do this thing. You didn't do this thing. Now, if you had just done it, if we never would have been here. Sometimes we have to bring the tough love to our people. Please bring this message to Lillian that you guys didn't do anything wrong because from his perspective, he understands now why you did it. Okay. He understands now why you did it. You did it in his best interest. He might not have understood that. He definitely didn't understand that while he was here. But now, with that perspective of time, of being in spirit, he understands why it was done. It was done in his best interest. And I think a lot of people can relate to this. COVID is in the rear view for a lot of us. The shutdowns, the lockdowns, the mask wearing, the social distancing. I think that a lot of people had to err on the side of caution. And I think that's something that we all have to do. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know the extent of how much it was going to hurt. So a lot of people erred on the side of caution. Did they do something wrong? Did they do something right? Who knows? Regardless of them doing something wrong or something right, he was pissed off, but he's not pissed off anymore. Okay. Uh, so Kylie, interesting thing for me. Is there anything going on with your lower back? Lower
Oh yeah.
back. Okay, so like lower back, you appear pretty young to me. Okay,
Yeah.
you appear pretty young to me. You're about this big on my screen, but there's something that I'm going to encourage you to do based on like what I'm feeling. You might want to explore some acupuncture if you're okay with needles. There's something about your lower back and being pulled to your lower back. I'm being pulled to needles, and it's not a tattoo. It's definitely acupuncture. You might want to consider
Darn.
acupuncture for your. Well, I mean, if you want a tattoo back there, get it. But like, I'm not sure that's going to fix your lower back
Yeah.
stuff. Okay. The other thing too is I know that like I can see you're wearing glasses. I think you're due for an eye exam.
Oh boy.
You notice that your eyes are getting weaker.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is not good. This he's talking about your lower back. He's talking about your eyes. So go to the eye doctor, get a new prescription or something. Really important. I also want to talk about. Can I ask you, was this man on your mom's side of the family?
Yes.
Okay. What is the because this is a culture that I wasn't raised in and I'm not familiar with. He's telling me to have your mom make a pie, like a pie. It seems like a pie.
I like a meat pie that was Lebanese, very Lebanese through and
Okay.
through. So
All right. So it feels like it hasn't been made in a long time. Would it have been something that was made when people got together,
there would have
like
the baked
social
kibby.
time?
The baked kibby was a big thing.
Explain to me what that is, please.
It's almost like a meat pie. It's beans, ground meat, lots of spices with it, and yeah, it's like almost like a meat pie type of deal.
Okay. I need to know from you if that is attached to like social time, like a family get
Oh
together,
yeah,
and the pie hasn't been made in a long time, and the family get together hasn't happened in a while.
yeah.
Okay. Uh, it- Encourage anybody who would get the family together and make those traditional dishes to get them together. The other thing that he wants me to tell you is this: he's very proud of how far you've come. He's very proud of how far you've come. You've come a long ways. He's watching it. He says, even though you, how do I put this? Um, he says that you're doing so from a place of spite, which is okay. You're like, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show
Yep.
you. And if that is what's fueling you and like you improving your life and upward trajectory, doesn't matter what fuel you use to get there. Um, if you creating a better life for yourself comes from a place of, hey guys, I'm going to show you that you are wrong about me, good for you. Good for you. Now he shows me a trophy, like a gold trophy. Okay, like he wants to give you a trophy. So there's something very good about your life or how you've come. I don't know what this is. It doesn't matter. You just need to take that message and know that if people in your life aren't recognizing it, then spirit is. Okay? Because like a little a little attaboy, attagirl would be nice every once in a while. I'm not
Yeah.
sure you're getting it, but
No.
the world of spirit sees it and wants to encourage you in your upward trajectory. Okay. The other thing too, I'm going to clarify the message about the lower back. This is good for anybody who has back, neck, or shoulder issues. I have one of these. I've mentioned this before because I believe in it so much. He's showing it to me now. If you've ever heard of a Shakti mat, do you know what that is?
No.
So I'll spell it Shakti, Shakti, Shakti. And what that is that it looks like a little yoga mat. It's got white plastic discs of points, and you like lay on it, and it hurts for a little bit. It's acupressure. So it's kind of like the Hindu bed of nails. It is something that will force blood flow into your muscles, into your joints, into your. I love mine. I lay on it for about 20 minutes and it really fixes my shoulder, back problems whenever they crop up. They're like $40 online. You might want to just consider getting a Shakti mat for that. Okay. Um, it's interesting because you also hold weight in your heart about making mistakes. So I want to describe something to you. Okay. So the family, your group of people would feel like they made a mistake by this man, but he's watching you and knows that you really do a good job of raking yourself over the coals about mistakes you've made. Okay. Here's some perspective for you. Every human makes mistakes. Not every human does something wrong. And what I mean by that, and I'm going to delineate the two, doing something wrong, from my perspective and what spirit has taught me, is intentionally trying to hurt people. Like if we set out and we try to hurt people, well, that's doing something wrong. There's a fine line between doing something wrong and making a mistake. If you do something with your best intention, with the most amount of experience and wisdom that you had at the time, if you do what's best for you, and it ends up hurting somebody in a way that you didn't recognize or see, you didn't do anything wrong. You just made a mistake. So I think for you, in the regrets or shames or grief that you carry in your heart around, like, oh my God, how could I be so stupid? You're just human. Humans are stupid. We're stupid. We all make mistakes, and that's something that I think we all have to have that grace. And I want to portray this to you, Kylie, before I move on to the next spirit. You're holding yourself accountable and raking yourself across the coals in a way that you would never want another human being to. Okay. So if you would give somebody else grace in those circumstances and in those positions, you deserve that grace as well. That's a lesson for everybody. Okay. Thank you. We're done. I'm gonna get on to the
Thank
next
you.
one. Thank you. Pass the message on. Meat pie, all of it, social time. When this goes online, bring that to your family. All right. Much love to you.
Will
Thank you for
do.
being here. Okay. Next one is this. Okay. This feels like a mom. This feels like a mom who went, the way she's describing it to me is prison. You put me in prison. You put me in prison. This feels like a nursing home. This feels like a nursing home. She's passed now. You would carry weight around this. She's very kind of saucy. She's saucy. She's sassy. She's very sassy. But I want to talk about one of the things she's showing me. Um, this is strange, but not unheard of. I gotta ask if anybody had a mom that went to a nursing home that she had dolls. Like you let her have her dolls. Like it feels like either childhood stuff or doll stuff. Something about well, at least you had my you at least you I had some creature comforts or something in the nursing home. She's calling it prison. Hi, Robin. Hold on. I'm going to unmute you or ask you to unmute yourself. This feels like an old doll. Oh,
Unmute. There we go. Um, my very first little teddy bear that were collectibles that everyone was buying me ended up being the hospital teddy bear. His name is Muffin. I still have him. He sits on top of her ashes. I started with my dad as a little comfort because we all left him overnight while he got a stent. But he ended up with my mom in the nursing home where obviously she was escaping and beating her whole arms up trying to get out.
okay. Yep. Hold
She
on one second
lost
for me,
her
Robin.
voice. So,
Yep. Hold on one second for me before you go any further with that. I just want to make sure because like the teddy bear could come through as a doll. Okay.
yeah,
Like a toy, like a childlike toy. I just want to make sure that nobody else has like a nursing home,
yeah,
prison,
common. Yeah,
doll,
yeah.
anything like that. If not, I'm going to go to Robin with this. Okay. So, Robin, you and I are going to get connected here. Can I ask you, was she sassy, saucy?
Yeah. Later on, she was. Alzheimer's
You
tends
said that
to
she kept
turn that.
escaping.
Oh, yeah. She was in a
Okay.
locked
So that,
Alzheimer's unit and she got out 3 times when I pulled up. So,
okay. So this is why she would call it prison. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
prison.
Yep.
Okay. So I, here's something. Again, this is why this circumstance is being given to me, and why we're sharing this. Is that a lot of us are going to be put into the position of having to put our parents and our loved ones into a facility like that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the flip side to that. When we end up in a place like that, because our family has to put us there,
Yep.
that we, if we end up having to take our family and put them in a facility like that, we're doing what we can with what we have,
Yep.
and we can't beat ourselves up about that. And if any of us end up in a facility like that, we have to understand that 99% of the time our family is doing what they can with what they have and doing the best. So, I'm just going to say it, Robin, if you end up in prison, don't try to break out. You know what I mean?
No, if I'm going to get Alzheimer's, I'd like a big bottle of pills and a big bottle of wine or something and handle it myself before I end up there. But that it doesn't work
I
that
get
way
it.
because you have Alzheimer's and you can't do that. So,
The other thing you mentioned her ashes. I want to let you know that talking to her isn't contingent on her physical stuff, like her physical grave, her physical ashes. When you're out in the grocery store, you want to talk to her, talk to her. Okay. It doesn't
yeah.
doesn't get stronger when you're at home or in more closer proximity to her ashes. Um, uh, it's funny. She's there's again like a sassy sense of humor with her. And I'm going to ask you this question. It's rhetorical. She's saying to me, "Well, you should know by now." Oh my gosh, you should know by now. A woman of your age should know that most of humanity is a bunch of nitwits. So, what that means to me, if she's having that question for you, Robin, that means to me that I think that a lot of your frustration with humans that are around you
Oh,
stems from you expecting yourself out of others. You can't.
I know.
She's using she's using the word
Yeah.
nitwit. So I think that you're frustrated with humans reacting a certain way, acting a certain way. Can I ask you? You always brought her a birthday cake.
I made cakes way back. I tend to do birthday plants now. I did used to decorate cakes and do them. My mom and dad's are both close. Sometimes I do them together or just separate, but I tend to plant her a plant every year now near her birthday. Stuff like that. Bring in flowers,
Excellent. Yeah,
wildflowers
I'm just
and
getting
stuff.
like the thank you for celebrating, like the birthday cake. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for celebrating that. The other thing too is I think in your body you have spots that go cold or numb. I think that you're suffering from like some nerve stuff. You're getting cold or numb. One of those devices that look like a giant egg whisk that goes up and down your head, anything that will stimulate goosebumps in your body, good music, getting your hair washed at the stylist, one of those devices, again, that like stimulates goosebumps on your head will help to flush out and refresh nerve endings. So,
Mm.
and she's telling me cold therapy, like ice or cold water, will help too. I don't, those are all things you have to take with a grain of salt, but I'm getting
Yeah.
cold therapy, ice baths, water, ice, cold, like that. Um, it's funny, she's also coming through about like, I told you so. I told you so. Hold on. Do you remember ever going to her with concerns about your daughter?
Possibly, but not that I really
Because
remember.
here's what I'm getting. Here's what I'm getting. Okay, like she's fine. She made it. Like she's good. There's this like I told you about her. I told you about her. I was right. You had doubts. I was right. Something worked out for her. She's happy. She is taking the like moral high ground here. I was right. I was right. And it's a good thing that she was right. You have to you have to take more time for yourself, but not in a way of doing nothing. You have to take more time for yourself, your interests, your hobbies, the things that are passionate for you. She's saying you have to take more time for yourself. She's also telling me that you've never made a mistake in this world. Or let me get that right. Let me get that right.
Yeah.
Hold on. You've never done anything wrong. You've made mistakes, but you've never done
Yeah.
anything wrong. She wants to make sure that you're absolved of any sort of guilt. Remember how I delineated between doing something wrong and making a mistake? Doing
Yeah.
something wrong is intentionally hurting somebody. Like you never
Right.
intentionally hurt her, but you made plenty of mistakes. You never did anything wrong. So pull your ass out of your head, kid. Those are the words that I'm hearing. Those are the words that I'm hearing. So you have to be fair to yourself while you're still here. Okay. So interesting. All right.
Crying.
Okay. I'm moving on. Moving on. The big message there, Robin, was the nursing home. The nursing home. If anybody here has to let their loved ones, live in a facility like that, don't feel guilty about it because that's only ever a last resort
Yeah.
for people who are of good heart. That's
It's
only
all
a
you can
last
do
resort.
sometimes. Yep.
And if we end up in a place like that, we have to understand that 99% of the time, it's going to be a last resort for the people who put us there. So,
They just have to make sure they visit. That's the big thing.
correct.
Get there.
That's the big thing.
Yep.
That's the big thing.
To me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep talking to your mom.
I do.
Just remember, not in the middle of the grocery store. Okay.
Eh,
She's with
what
you.
the hell?
So take care of yourself. And here we go. All right, here we go. Okay. I want to talk to somebody else here who is there somebody here who was a childhood educator, preschool teacher, ran a daycare, something like that, and then got out of it because she couldn't do it anymore? Anybody here who used to like how I'm seeing this is monkeys. Um, like monkeys on a monkey bar, monkey gym, like monkeys circus, not my monkeys, not my circus. Um, something about not being able to handle it anymore. I'm seeing what looks like a playground, which would mean school to me, monkeys, monkey bars, gym, um, kids. I has anybody here done that work and then got out of it? Okay. So I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself, Allison. So Allison, can I ask you, um, this wasn't like a retirement, was it?
No.
Okay, because this is what I'm getting. It's like I couldn't deal with the kids anymore. I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't deal with it, and you just went and did something else.
Yeah, it was a really a life change, like that I needed to, make more money and go into something different. So I was in early childhood
Sure.
education.
Okay. Couple of things here. It's really funny because the man who's coming through about this message feels very neat and tidy, like you got a bow tie. You got a bow tie. Okay. Like somebody who's kind of like prim and proper, or somebody who like wore a bow tie at one point in time, very much needs you to know that you did the best you could for you. Like you did the best thing for you. You didn't continue to martyr yourself. This is important. Now I want to make sure, like, if you have, this only applies to somebody who feels guilty about this. Did you feel guilty about this? Did you feel like you made a mistake, like you did the wrong thing when you made that life change?
I felt guilty about a lot of life changes. Not necessarily that one. I mean, a little bit, but I also just knew from a monetary point of view that it was something I had to do.
Right. That's very much a circumstance of not being your monkeys anymore. Do you know what I mean? Not my circus, not my monkeys.
Hmm.
Maybe, maybe the message about that is an example of how perhaps you didn't feel guilty in that situation where you did the best thing for yourself. And maybe you can take that emotional wisdom around that scenario and apply it to the other parts of your life where you do feel guilty. Because that's not a situation where you should feel guilty. So you can say, Allison, that it was not a mistake for you to do that life change, to make that life change, right?
Right.
Are there other life changes where you did what was best for you, where you do feel guilty?
Yes.
Okay. Perhaps try not to. I know that it's easier said than done, but if if these scenarios are on paper the same, then why would you feel guilty in one circumstance and not feel guilty in the other when essentially you did what was best for you?
Right.
Okay. So what I feel like is like what I'm seeing is connecting the dots, like a connect the dot sort of thing. I feel so thank you for taking this, but I'm going to bring it to a different level because what I'm really feeling is this. And again, this might be for somebody that's not claiming this, that doesn't want to take this. I want to, okay, what I'm really feeling, and you stay with me, Allison, because thank you for, being here and connecting with me. What I'm really feeling is somebody who was guilty about leaving those kids behind. This might not be like a teacher thing. This might be like I had a family, like I was with somebody, divorced that person, left the kids behind. This is very much about leaving kids behind and feeling guilty. It might have been little kids because I'm feeling like monkeys. If not, if nobody else can claim this, then this is obviously for you. But I really feel like I'm feeling a distinct sense of regret and almost shame that I can't believe I left them there. I can't believe I let them go. I can't believe I moved on. And the feeling that I'm getting is like a broken heart. Like my heart broke. I don't know, Allison, if you can apply that to that. Like you sound like you were
Yeah.
pretty at terms with it.
Yeah, I think Um, I think I'm getting what you're putting down, and I'm not sure you know what you're getting, what you're putting down. But um, I recently, well, I say recently, over the past couple of years, after I left the early childhood education, went into management, which brought me through this major, like I climbed the corporate ladder in a big way. And it was stressful as stressful can be. And, um, my husband said, let's quit our jobs and sell our house and take some time off and travel. And that was a little over 2.5 years ago. And I quit my job. We sold the house, and he ended up not quitting his job. Um, and 3 weeks ago asked me for a divorce. And basically said he wished I'd never quit my job after I trusted this whole process that we were going to do this together. And it was the equivalent of standing on a fucking bridge, holding hands, and we're going to jump. And I jumped, and he didn't. So, um, it's just been a whirlwind of what I trusted to be something we were going to do together, and it didn't end up going that way. And now I left a very lucrative career to support myself, and now I don't have that. And now I'm starting over.
It goes without saying that I am sorry about that. Obviously, your heart is broken for good reason, or an understandable reason. I think that with your level of intelligence, you understand how completely unfair everything that just fell out of your mouth is. And as heartbreaking as it is, allow me to give you a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of message around that scenario. Number one, if anybody can start over from where she's at, it's you. I don't know you personally, but if anybody can take what was just handed to you and make the best out of it, it's going to be you. Right now, you are required to have faith in yourself. If you look in your past and look at what you've done, you should absolutely have faith in yourself. Two, I'm not saying what I'm about to say to make you feel better, but that man will see divorcing you as the biggest mistake he ever made in his life.
Mm-hmm.
There will be a day that comes, and here's where we have to talk about that word mistake. There will be a day that happens where he will know that doing this was a mistake. You'll have settled into a new rhythm and a new life around that time, and you may or may not have to be prepared to have him ask you back. There's there's a flavoring here of some sort of mental breakdown or midlife crisis. Not on your part, but on his. Do you understand that? Do you see that from that
Oh,
perspective?
so understand that. And when you had mentioned the monkey off my back, like when you had said that, about the childcare and the monkey bars and the monkey. Like, I'm just like, I just feel like it's just been, um, as hard as it's been, I just realized that my best days have yet to happen and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, it still sucks though. You
Yeah.
know, it still hurts. Everything will be fine, but it still sucks. Interestingly, and again, I don't know why I have to say this, you don't have to deal with his smelly socks anymore. Yay. Yay. Silver lining, silver lining, silver lining, silver lining. Okay. So I want to make sure, Allison, before I move on, as I'm still connected here, I'm just going to give you what I'm getting. Um, you do have somebody professional to talk to about this process. You're not carrying this burden by yourself.
Yes.
Excellent. That'll be a vital, vital part of your path to peace.
Mm.
It really will be. So I'm glad that you're doing that. You're not shouldering the burden by yourself. The other thing, again, this is all strange. I believe you're getting cramps in your calves or cramps in your body. I'm tasting bananas, which I think you're low on potassium.
All right. So this is a funny story. My husband, or I guess I can now call him my husband, or um, loves bananas. And since he moved out 3 weeks ago, I refuse to buy a fucking banana because I can't, like, I love bananas, but it's like every single day for the last 12 years, I have seen him cut a banana in half and eat it with a piece of toast with almond butter for 12 years. And I'm like, I'm not buying any bananas for a really long time unless it vibrates. So that's my thought.
So, okay, all right. So I love that. What's the animal that's known to eat bananas?
Monkey, monkey.
Monkey, monkey. That's hilarious. So, a really good source of potassium is white potatoes. If you can stomach some white potatoes, you know, a good way to get your potassium up. Or, of course, the kale, the greens, all of that stuff. You might also want to just treat yourself to a goddamn piece of pizza. Okay? Like a piece of pizza might be good for you. All right. Um, the other thing too, you got grands around you, grandkids of any sort
Mm,
around you?
yeah,
Okay.
two of them.
Something that just popped into my head. Um, and remember, it can be a symbol or it can actually be literal meaning. Do you know where Fun Spot is?
Yes.
Okay. I think you need a trip to Fun Spot in Meredith, you know, big like
Mm-hmm.
foosball, bowling, like arcade time. They have pizza there. I bet there's not a single goddamn banana in the whole building. I bet you're okay. I bet you're okay by going there. So, um, I know I talk about it a lot, but when we have these things fall into our lap, whether that we can see them coming or we can't, we have to increase our vitamin joy. We have to go get joy like a vitamin to help stave off the effects of the trauma and the pain and the turmoil. I'm also seeing live music right now. You might want to go get yourself a concert, go out for some live music, something like that. Um, oh my gosh. And you got to remember what I'm about to say. I say it's a gay man. Okay. I'm saying this is a gay man. You have to remember how much of a hot ticket you are. Okay. Like that is a message from them. So, you know, if you like to be partnered up, if you like to have a partner in your life, I am not sure that it's going to be a challenge. Okay. Just remember how much of a hot ticket you are. Okay. That is not a Josh thing. That is a spirit thing. So remembering these facts. You've got personality, you've got pizzazz, you're a hot ticket. I think that you are going to be more than fine. And I do believe in the future. And if should this pass, Should this pass, you need to email me or let me know that this happens. I do believe once this is in your rear view, this man's going to realize that it is a mistake and he's going to say those words to you.
I agree.
Okay. That should be more delicious than any goddamn banana you could eat ever. Okay. So appreciate that and get ready for it, you know? And I love everybody's messages coming through. I love everybody's messages of support coming through. Okay. So on to the next one. Keep your chin up, kid, okay? Keep your chin up. Here we go. We've got the next one coming through. All right. So this is almost like the mom in prison one, but this is a little bit different. Um, this one is kind of breaking my heart a little bit. It's probably gonna breaking my heart a little bit. This is sad, but this is a necessary thing that we have to go through. Anybody here have what feels like a younger sister? I don't know if it's a younger sister, but it's like somebody that you were in care. Okay, she feels like she might be, she might have been mentally handicapped, like mentally disabled. I don't think it was Down syndrome, but I do think it was some sort of um, mental disability. And there's some sort of separation. Again, this could have been like a client you worked with as like a care provider, because what I'm feeling from her is like almost like she's wailing. And this is she's recounting something that happened in life. It's almost like she's wailing, like reaching arms out, like there's a separation that happened. Um, and for as much as the challenges she had, she was very much uh she understood that there was like a separation, like somebody was moving on, somebody was moving, perhaps she was going to a facility. There's something here. And again, she feels like she wasn't conventionally 100% mentally competent. Has anybody lost somebody like that? She's showing me a nightgown, like she's in a nightgown. Like it feels like there's like a separation, almost like somebody's being taken away. Don't get caught up on sister. This could be like daughter. This could be somebody. She was troubled. She was troubled. And I don't know if that's mental, like, I don't know if it's drug addiction. It's not drug addiction. I don't know if it was like there's something wrong with her mind. Anybody got this? Showing me like a nightgown, like she's in a nightgown. I don't know if you left in the middle of the night. I don't know if she was in a nightgown. I don't know if this is a gown that would have been on in a hospital. I don't know if she was in a hospital. Could have been a hospital gown, but she's showing me in a nightgown and she's like wailing, she's crying. Not right now, but she was then. This should identify this separation. Her heart is broken, or her heart was broken at the time. He really wants to talk to you.
Josh, this might be for me. My mom had bipolar disorder, and she was in and out of psychiatric units many times in the last year that she was alive.
Okay. So do you remember, hi John, do you remember like like her reaching out or her screaming, being left there?
Yeah, every time she went, she was really upset and crying and wanting, she never wanted to go. Yeah.
Okay. Um so Jen, you said this was your mom, right?
That's right.
Okay, but your mom who you felt like you had to parent, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I often described her as like we've changed roles in that I was the mother and she was my daughter, because I took care of her in her later years.
Yeah. Um And you've been here since the beginning, right? You've been here since the beginning. So you hear the themes, right? You can hear why she's coming through with this, because the only reason she would be coming through, or the spirit that helps me do this, show this spirit here, is because you would carry heartache over having to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Every single one of these circumstances that has been shared tonight has been all about doing the best we can with what we have. And again, this is very similar to like bringing a parent to a nursing home. And this is very similar to that, where from her perspective now, having moved on into the world of spirit, she's going to know what was going on from that 1,000-foot view. She's going to know what was going on in your heart. She's going to know what was going on in your mind. I hate to say it like this, Jen, but this is just a you thing. Like, this is just a you thing. Like, your heartache here and having to do that, you're the only one that feels this way.
Hmm.
And you're the only one causing yourself to feel this way. And here's what I know that if anybody else in the world, never mind on this call right now, had to be in that position of putting their mom in a psychiatric unit, you would never want them to feel heartbreak. You'd
Sure.
know that it would be tough, but you would never want them to point the finger back at themselves.
Right. Yeah.
So here's some perspective for you. Doing that for her was the best thing for her, the
Mm.
best option, the best thing. It wasn't a mistake, and it wasn't doing anything wrong. It wasn't even a mistake. But for some reason, because you've got it twisted, and I say that with love, I say it with love, you've got it twisted. You think it was both a mistake and you think it was something that was wrong. What would have been wrong, what would have been a huge mistake, is leaving her to her own devices,
Mhm.
letting her hurt herself, letting her hurt other people. And then, if something tragic happened at her own hand, you would then be left wondering, if I could have done something, if I could have done something, when every single instance you had information, you had resources, you did what you could for her. It's interesting because I don't hear words, I hear feelings and images. Would she ever have called you Peanut?
Not that I recall, no.
I
No.
don't know. I just feel like a nickname. Like she's trying to call you something sweet that's not your name.
Hmm.
I
Nothing's
don't know
come
why
to
I get
mind.
Peanut. No, she's the pain that she felt at that time of being separated from her family is nothing that exists now except in memory. It doesn't exist in her heart. It doesn't exist in her soul. It doesn't exist anywhere where she's at. It exists in your mind because you lived it. And
Hmm.
in the same way that Allison wouldn't want anybody to feel guilty or upset that the husband threw this in her lap, I know that you wouldn't want anybody to feel guilty or upset about this.
Hmm.
What's interesting, hear me out on this, please. Um, why is she telling me that she's with your sister? Like she's with your sister.
Maybe her sister. I don't have a sister, but she had a sister who passed.
No, 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 no. Hold on, hold on. Do you have a sister figure here that needs her? She's talking about like your sister. If you have a sister figure here, like a friend or a best friend or somebody here, somebody needs
I
her right now and she's with her.
Yeah, I don't have a sister per se, but I have a cousin who's like a sister who just lost her partner and definitely needs my mom with her right now.
Okay, so she's with her. You need to tell that cousin that's like your sister that she's with
Mhm.
her. Okay?
I will.
Like very important that you pass that message on for her. Um please tell okay. This is strange. Please tell your cousin to get a massage. I know it's going to be really strange, really weird right now, because I'm feeling like her hands on her body. Her body must be going through a lot, having lost her partner.
Hmm.
Like there's something about a massage or something for her body. Please, please pass that message on. Also, weirdly, I'm getting cookies and cream ice cream. Cookies and cream ice cream is a very specific thing. Do you know if that cousin likes cookies and cream ice cream?
Um, I don't know for sure, but I know my mom was a big fan of lots of types of ice cream.
Okay. Are you near your cousin? Can you bring her ice cream?
No, I cannot, but I have resources to get ice cream to her. Yes.
Okay. Ice cream is really good right now because of the calories and the fat and the sugar and the protein,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like our body needs that.
Mhm.
So if you could get that, if you could make that happen, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
Um, if you could let her know. Here's the other thing too. Do you remember with your mom Christmas traditions? Christmas traditions?
Oh yeah.
She needs you to, she needs you to continue those for her. Okay? She needs you to
Okay.
continue those for her. And what I'm seeing, hear me out. What I'm seeing is the big right red, not bread, red what is it? Is it a hyacinth? It's not a poinsettia. It's not a
Oh,
poinsettia. It's the big red thing that grows on the stem, the bulb.
I'm not sure. It could be a
You know what I'm
hyacinth.
talking about?
Yeah.
Amaryllis.
Amaryllis. Okay, so there's something about like a Christmas flower, like
Okay.
having flowers, Christmas, all of that. Um, you have to understand that your mom can't forgive you because there's nothing to forgive.
Mhm.
Like I would love to say I forgive you, honey. I forgive you, honey, but there's nothing to forgive. You have to see it through that lens because doing what was best for your mom was neither doing something wrong or making a mistake. You have to know that. You have to tell yourself that because and this is where I take this work very seriously. I know you want your mom to rest in peace. Her daughter has to live in peace. Her daughter
Mhm.
has to carry the appropriate story in her heart about her life, about herself, about what she did. And imagine your mom watching you carry this burden unnecessarily. It's not even rational. It's not even rational. So try rationality on for size, right, Jen? Just try a little bit of rationality on for size. Find a little bit of peace. Tell yourself the story you'd want other people to tell themselves. And carry your head with pride. It's funny, that's her message. Like, carry your head high, carry your head with pride. You're a person of integrity, a person of honor and devotion to your family and to her. That sucks having to do that for your parent. There's no way around it. It hurts, it sucks. There's a ton of emotional baggage, but let's try the truth on for size. Do you get that?
I do. Um, I think that maybe more of what the message is pertinent to is I have some regrets about not being there toward the end. My mom took her own life, and I have these replaying or recurring thoughts of what ifs, what if she would have called me or something like that. So I think that that's more of, I mean, I brought her to psychiatric unit several times throughout my life because she struggled with her mental illness. Um, but I think that more so what I'm struggling with now is the end and not being able to change the outcome.
Okay, so Jen, if there was anybody else on this call who's walking the same path, had the same scenario, had the same mom, had the same ending, all of it, and they were feeling that way about that circumstance, you know what you would tell them.
I do, yes. Hmm.
Okay. What that means is that you have a part of yourself, a part that comes from love, that's able to tell herself the truth. That's it.
Hmm.
Tell yourself the truth. Let's try the truth on for size. And I do have to say this. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Like, you want your mom to rest in peace, right?
Of course.
Okay. Well, I know it's a redundant question, but here's a perspective that I have to give you, and I have to give anybody here who's dealt with overdoses or suicides or anything like that. There is no hell, there is no lake of fire. We don't burn for eternity. These major world religions that say don't take your own life because you're going to go to hell, that could be seen through a poetic lens, because the worst part about taking our own life is seeing up close the pain of the people we left behind, knowing that our actions caused that.
Mm-hmm.
And I firmly believe that when we find peace and we find healing and we tell ourselves the truth, we tell ourselves what we would want to tell somebody else, that we bring them to a place of peace. When we heal, they heal. When we suffer, they suffer. That's just the nature of love.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe don't be so tough, and maybe find somebody professional to talk to about this.
I have, and I
You
am.
have?
Mm-hmm.
You are? Okay. Good
Yes.
for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Just tell yourself what you'd want other people in your position to tell themselves. And I am an inherent believer that humans can control the conversation that we have with ourselves. I really do believe that.
I
And
agree.
I do my damnedest to control the conversation I have with myself, because I want my Graham to be at peace. You know what I mean? Like, I want my Graham to be at peace. I know that she watches me, hears me, knows what's going through my mind. I can control what I tell myself, so my loved ones who are watching me and who are connected to me through the faculties of love don't have to watch me suffer.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing too, oh, here's something funny. You're too much like your goddamn father. Okay. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. Okay. And here's why she's telling me to tell you that. You do not have the part of her mother that made her the way she is. You have more genetics from your father's side. So any of the worry that you have about inheriting mental illness or anything like that, it's
Yeah.
unfounded. It's from what I hear, it's a genetic thing. You do not have the part of her mother. So she's saying that this was coming from her mother too.
Okay. Her mother
So
didn't have the bipolar that I know of, but I know that in that side of the family, there has been depression, symptoms of depression and anxiety. Yeah.
whatever it is, the genetic part of this came from her mother's side. You don't have those genes. You have more genes from your father's side when it comes to this stuff. She's telling me that you don't have to worry about this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think this applies to Christmas. Maybe it applies to your birthday. She's saying you need to get yourself a gift. You need to get yourself
Okay.
a gift. When I have to tell people they need to get themselves a gift, it's often because they're not getting gifts. Are you not getting gifts for Christmas?
I think I'm pretty well taken care of. I
Okay.
get gifts.
Are you not doing anything for your birthday?
Um, no, I mean, my birthday was July 3rd, so it's already come to pass. And I had a really great day, and I actually received some really special gifts.
Okay. So maybe watch what happened there. If she's telling you that you don't have to worry about getting what she had, and then she shows me a gift for you, maybe that's just her way of saying this is a gift to you. Like, her gift to you is just confirming that you don't have that. Okay.
I'll tell you a story related to my birthday and a gift that I find potentially connected to my mom, which may be what's coming through to
Sure.
you. Um, I had kept in touch with a friend of hers, and they had exchanged a chicken, a crocheted chicken, or I guess it was a duck. And I had a dream about this, and I mentioned it to her friend. and time had passed. I just had this childhood memory of there being like this duck or chicken that they exchanged. And on my birthday, or a couple days after my birthday, I received a birthday gift from her friend, my mother's friend, which was a rubber chicken and a note. She included a note that my mom had written about how much I had loved the rubber chicken, or actually it was a crocheted duck. So we had kind of mixed up what the bird was, but it was a crocheted duck that my mother had exchanged with her friend, and her friend actually sent me a rubber chicken with the note about the duck and how much I loved it as a child. And so I took that as a gift from my mom on my birthday. It was my first birthday without my mom.
Oh, sweet. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So, how about this? Getting gifts on your birthday from other people, sure. Maybe you need to give, maybe you need to give yourself a gift from your mom on your birthday.
Hmm. Maybe.
Interestingly, I just saw a casino. So I don't know if that's just like adult playground, go and play, go and game or what have you. But like if you have a casino around you and that's anything that you're into, go gamble a little bit.
Okay.
Just, like when you're having fun here, she's watching you have fun.
Hmm.
When you know joy and peace and love and all of that stuff, that's why we have to cultivate those things. So, if your position was reversed, if you were in spirit and your mom was here, you know what you would want for her, all the good stuff. You'd want her to tell herself the right story to herself about herself. You'd want her to be at peace. So
Hmm.
when you give yourself the gift of peace, you give your mom the gift of peace.
Hmm.
And that to me is the greatest fight worth fighting. So try the truth on for size. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Take care of yourself. I got one more spirit here. Much
Thank
love to
you.
you. And pass that message on to your cousin, please. Okay.
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Um, Robin, go to the casino. Robin's chatting about her birthday. Go to the casino, Robin. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So the next one here. Yeah. Okay. Larger man with a beard. I'm smelling and tasting mechanic grease, so he might have been a mechanic or worked in like a factory. Like I'm smelling mechanic grease. I have to ask, this is so clear of an image. Was there a man who was found in a pickup that took his own life? Anybody have anybody like that? A man would have found a cancer diagnosis, something would have happened to him. He's in a pickup truck in like a field or pulled off, would have taken his own life. The interesting thing that I'm feeling is um, I think he had a brain tumor. I think he found out that he had brain cancer. I think that he found out that he had a tumor in his head. This might be tangential. Like what I mean by that is this might be like your husband's father, your husband's brother, somebody that's not directly like your father, your brother, somebody that's off to the side a little bit. This is somebody that I'm smelling the grass. I think it was like in a field of the summer. It's like an older pickup truck. I think he would have left a mess. Um, there would have been a lot of swearing after he went, like a lot of anger, a lot of swearing that he did this to himself. A lot of swearing, like son of a bitch, can't believe he did this. How could he do this? So selfish, all of those things. Anybody here that's got somebody like that is watching his family suffer from mental illness. He's watching his family suffer from mental illness. His family right now has mental illness, anxiety, depression, all of it. They're struggling. They forgot how strong they were. Um, Okay, so I'm going to keep going with this. So nobody's raising their hands, nobody's unmuting themselves. This person would have this person's regretful because their tumor there was curable. They could have just cut him open and taken it out and he would have been fine. Like this is why he's regretful of this. This is where he would have made a mistake because he understood this after the fact. So anybody here have anybody in their family, friends, family, anybody like that? Nobody here can connect to this. I know like this doesn't usually happen where there's nobody that grabs this. This is
Josh,
um
I'm not connecting with the suicide at all. My paternal grandfather had a heart attack, supposedly in a sedan. It was an old Rambler back in 1971. But he had written a letter not long before he died, within 2 years or so, saying that he had a problem with his eye and he had to go in for another operation and he might lose it. But there's no suicide that we know of, and I've done a lot of research, and it was all about a heart attack, found unconscious in his car. It was in the summer. It was in June, and he was taken to the hospital where he later died. That's all I can connect. So
yeah,
I
thank you for saying that, Tina. I'm not sure it's you. I'm
I
feeling
don't
like
think
it's
so.
again, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it's you. I'm feeling like this is like a good old boy, country boy, bearded guy in a pickup truck, like found out he's what he is saying to me is that he took the cowardly way out. He took the cowardly way out. He's owning it. There's a chance that somebody might watch this in a day or so and need this message, but this is a very clear thing. I was like a mechanic. I think he might have got brain cancer from diesel. Something about like very North
None of
Country-ish.
that part matches. None of that part matches. He
Yeah.
was in the country. He was down in West
Yep.
Virginia. He, sold music of country bands, but I don't know that he had a beard. We have very few pictures of him because he took off. Yeah, I don't think it is.
We've got a Deb waving her hand. Thank you, Tina. Thank you for that. I really appreciate you sharing that. Deb, what do you have?
Hey, Josh. My sister had a friend that he definitely died in the pickup truck. She found him in his pickup truck. Don't know if he's had a beard, but he probably did because he wasn't taking care of himself. And when you talked about the mess, there was a big mess of where he was kind of living, um, that type of thing. Don't know about the tumor or anything about, you know, medically, if it's just he kind of like drank himself and to death basically and just gave up.
Don't know if he there's a chance that like the gunshot wound is like his symbol of saying I took my own life, like through neglect. You don't know if he shot himself.
I don't know. Darn. Geez, I yeah, I don't remember what she said, how he died. Um, I don't know if he just died of just not eating or drinking or just giving up type of thing.
This might be for you, Deb. In the way that I didn't feel it was for Tina, like I'm feeling more drawn to you. Do you remember how I said it was like tangential, like off to the side, like somebody kind of connected like through uh through a connection off to the
Yes, right.
side.
That's what I was, when you said that, I thought about my sister. I remember her, one of the boyfriends she used to have, and then he came back into her life and was doing a lot of work for her, fixing up. She had a trailer that he was working on. And yeah, he was just, and lost a lot of weight, was really skinny, not taking care of himself.
Susan
Um,
LaFlamme has a raised hand. Hold on, Deb. Hold on.
okay. Yeah.
Thank you, whoever chatted that. I don't see. Go like this, Susan. Go like this so I can see you. Okay, hi. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. Here we are.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if this is me. My uncle, my father's brother, passed away when he was 42. He was diagnosed with intestinal cancer. He didn't take the traditional way out, like with chemotherapy. He went to see called him a healer. He would pray and he had confidence in this person, thought he would help heal his cancer. I don't know if this was him. He does have a big beard. He weighed maybe, 300 pounds. He was a heavy set man. He did have a red Dodge pickup. There's a photo of him in a field on his motorcycle. He had Harley Davidsons. Um, it was like a little red express truck. That's what I remember as a kid with the little pipes in the back. Um, and he passed away when he was 42. He weighed 80 pounds, and everybody was devastated.
Did he take his own life?
He did not. No, that doesn't fit.
Yeah, no, this is somebody who took
Oh,
their own life, knew it was a mistake. They could have been treated. And then people were angry, like swearing afterwards, that. So Deb, you need to check in with your sister, please.
Yeah. Now?
Okay. No, not now, not
Oh,
now, not
yeah,
now,
yeah,
like
check it.
later.
Yeah.
When this is live,
Okay.
you can check in with us. This is somebody who
Yeah.
either somebody is not taking this because they don't want to have this experience in public, or they're just listening. Sometimes that happens, and that's okay. But this is really important. Now, there's this small chance that somebody is going to hear this in the future and need this message, but there's somebody who could have survived. They could have been treated. They could have made their way out.
Mhm.
And
Anything?
what's fat? Hi, Jackie.
Hi. I have a former coworker who took their life in a vehicle in the summer, who had mental health concerns. But I don't know that they had been diagnosed with anything because it had been several years since I worked with them.
Were they a bigger person with a beard, like North Country person?
Very, very redneck. I can't remember if he had a beard other than like maybe hunting season.
Sure.
But was very tall, very like 6'2", 6'3", um, not like overweight, but he was just a very large man. Former military, had been deployed.
Okay. The brain tumor thing could be just like I had something in my head.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it could
Yeah.
have been treated.
He had a lot of PTSD.
Okay. Um, do you remember what kind of vehicle it was?
It was a truck. I don't know beyond that what it was.
And
But
he took his own life in the truck?
yep.
Okay. So again, and you might not have been connected to his family. You
Correct.
might not have heard the people swearing afterwards.
I think a lot of people were because they were just so kind of like shocked. They were upset that he did, but they weren't necessarily surprised either. He referred to us as yin and yang because when we worked together, I often kind of offset the things that he struggled with.
So the reason why he's coming through is because he needs to own the fact that he made a mistake. He didn't mean to hurt people, but he did make a mistake. Do you see?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So the mistake he made by taking his own life hurt others, and he was able to witness that. And he was able to witness that, which sucks.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
There's no separation when we pass into spirit from those people that are here. There's no separation. Actually, we get closer to our loved ones when we pass. So, and you're not in contact with any of the family.
I'm not. I do.
Did you get a tattoo for this person, or did people get a tattoo for him?
Oh, I don't I don't know. I think I know someone who does connect with the family, who was
You
also
might want to
they worked with him.
pass this on to them when it goes live. Do you know what I mean? Like, let them
Absolutely.
hear this,
Yep.
because when I step into this position, I want to bring peace to the living. That's like my thing. I want to help people find, like Jen and her mom. I want to help people find perspective and try to find clarity and peace. For him to come through and to be able to say, I messed up, I made a mistake, I hurt people, that gives him peace.
Yep.
That gives him peace. So whether this is for Deb or for Susan or for you or for anybody, this is a very, like, I guess this is a common enough thing for people to deal with, that people need to know that when they have an opportunity to say, yeah, I messed up, yeah, I own it, yeah, I made the mistake, and for people to understand that, I think that there can be a lot of peace that comes from giving an apology. Like when I came down on my son and I found out his mother overdosed, I apologized to him. I'm like, kid, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. That gives me peace. That gives him peace. So there's peace in the ability to apologize. And I think that spirit needs that. And if they don't have it through a person like me or through other means, when a family finds peace, and this is popping into my head for a reason.
I believe he had
Who
two.
here has lost a woman to smoking? Somebody who would have smoked themselves to death and lung cancer, and like, how could they take themselves out of this world through selfish addiction like that? Things like that. When we understand addiction, when we understand things from a higher perspective, and we offer those in spirit grace, then they find peace. So this isn't just a human thing. It's not just a human thing. I mean, yes, we deserve peace, and we can find it by telling ourselves the truth about ourselves to ourselves. But maybe when we find a higher perspective about addictions and illnesses and mental illnesses and those types of things, and we have grace and understanding around that, we give the people in spirit peace. And I think that is incredible. I think that's incredible. Now, one of the things that I need to do is, okay, something popped up here. Somebody, Sally, I just saw your chat come up that said, darn, yesterday Spirit told me that a woman in my family was going to come through. I don't control it. I'm sorry. If everybody can sign up for a one-on-one session with me, the thing that I can tell about group readings is that it's not always appropriate to have those conversations in a group setting. Those connections are not always appropriate to have in a group setting. That's what I know about this process. I've done this enough to know, like, behind closed doors, one-on-one, it's unfettered, it's unfiltered. This, every time I step into this, we're building a theme, we're building a story, and these things come through in a way that brings it together in a cohesive manner. So if somebody here didn't get a connection that they were hoping for, don't take that personally. It has nothing to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with your heart. It's just that because this is a podcast and I'm building it for posterity's sake, these are pieces of wisdom that the world of spirit needs us silly humans to know. Like, we need this. Tina, thank you for that. Be kind to yourself and remind yourself of that every single day. Also, Tina, I will add on to something. I think adulting is successfully self-parenting. So we do have to be kind to ourselves, but we also have to hold ourselves accountable. We can be too kind to ourselves and stay on the couch all day. We got to be accountable to ourselves as well, as a parent would to a child. So yes, be kind to yourself, but be accountable to yourself, and understand the way that you are carrying on in life, the way that you treat yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you carry on in your life. It has an effect on the people that love you. It has an effect on the people that love you in this world. It has an effect on the people that love you in the next. So I have a husband, I have a son, I have parents. I do my damnedest to make sure I'm at peace. So everybody that I love is at peace that's here in the living world. But I'm like any other human. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to wear egg on my face. I think that when we do that, instead of standing in a place of pride and going, I didn't make a mistake, you have to deal with it. I think that when we find graciousness for ourselves and other people, that it can make all the difference in the world. So the difference being is that the world of spirit, your loved ones, and I know this freaks some people out, but I got to say it. They know what's going on in your mind. They know what's going on in your heart. They know what you're telling yourself. They know what you're feeling. The world of spirit is consciousness, and this is my doorway to spirit. But everybody has this connection. It's a one-way mirror, like we see in a cop show. You are connected to your loved ones in spirit, whether you feel them or not. They are connected to you. They know what you're going through. You are their movie. You have a great degree of control over the conversation that you're having with yourself. You have a great degree of control over the movie that you are living. And just like you would want for them, they want the best for you. When you walk in power, when you walk in peace, when you walk in clarity and you tell yourself the truth, you give them the greatest gift that they could ever want for you. So let's try the truth on for size. Okay. So thank you, Jan. Thank you, everybody. We are wrapped up here tonight. I want to let everybody know that you can get a one-on-one session with me on my website. I am booked out. I think I'm booking out until October. If anybody needs to reach me, email me because I could probably fit you in some days during the week. October is like, how do I put it? Christmas time for Santa. For me, it's like the busiest time of year. So I'm walking into the busiest time of year for me. So I'm going to be all over New England, doing a bunch of shows, doing a bunch of events, private readings, family readings, hosting a retreat, all of that. But we are a little bit away from the Burr months, which are my favorite. September, October, November, December are my favorite months of the year. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah. And for folks that are local to New England, I have an event coming up in Wilmot, New Hampshire, Keene, New Hampshire, and Barrie, Vermont. I'm doing my Gifts with Spirit events, 3 of them in the month of September. So all my love to you here. Find all that stuff on my website. Thank you for being here. And for those of you who need this, look for this tomorrow. It will be posted on my Facebook page for tomorrow. I'll have this up and ready to go for tomorrow. You'll see it on my Facebook page that it's been posted, and you can share it to your loved ones if they need to hear it. So all my love to you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.